So I hope you guys like cheap stuff, as this is going to be one of the very rare examples where Konami decided to be incredibly generous. They've given us an entire archetype that can be made from event drops, one rotation of a box, a few box chips, and then just whatever tech cards you want to add to it. That is the entire cost of this deck. And by the way, this isn't meant to be a budget video or a budget way to play the deck list. I'm going to be showing you how to play it at full power. It just turns out that full power is also dirt cheap. Let me just go show you what I mean. So here's today's deck list. But apparently 40% of people watching this aren't actually subscribed to the channel, so if you guys are enjoying this kind of content and you're new around here and you think you might want to see some more videos and more deck lists from me in the future, especially more new box content, as I have a whole bunch of videos planned coming out over the upcoming days, so if you want to see any of that content, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel, and let's jump into this deck list. Alright, so first things first, what you're seeing on screen right now is all you need to play this deck list. That is it. If you own the cards on screen, you can play this deck list at full power. All you need is just a bunch of cards from the latest box at one rotation. You'll notice no ultra rares from the latest box were used to make this video, as you just do not need them. We've got a couple SRs from the latest box. We've got a bunch of normals and rares from the latest box. We've got your Unexpected Die, which is a structure deck card or a box chip card, so free to obtain as well. Same with Painful Decision, exactly the same as Unexpected Die, a structure deck card or a card you can get from your box chips. And then you just got your event drops from the new character that just got added. Everything in here is incredibly cheap and incredibly easy to obtain. Now, to complete your deck list, I highly recommend going over 20 cards, as there's a couple cards in here you don't particularly want to see in your opening hand, because you search for them as part of your standard combo anyway, so if you ever open them, it just feels kind of bad, as it could have been a tech card instead. It's not game ending if you do open them, but it just feels kind of bad. That's going to be your Sowing and your Bloom. Both these cards you search for as part of your standard combo, so you don't particularly want to see them in your opening hand. So to avoid that, you play over 20 cards, so you see less of them and you see more tech cards instead. And considering this deck has 9 different starters in it, on top of your skill being a searcher and potentially a starter going second as well, you're not going to brick with it, just go over 20, so yeah, you see these cards a lot less. As for what cards to choose from, it can honestly be typically anything, so just whatever powerful cards you own. Things like your Chalices, your Floodgates, your Compulsors, your Crackdowns, Book of Moons, Lances, all that kind of thing. I personally recommend playing Hand Traps though, because the skill, it can send monsters from your hand back into the deck to search for some of your Sunvine cards and your Sunseed cards. So in order to have that search basically always up, it's kind of nice to have monsters in your hand, so things like your Ghost Mourners, your Crows, your Effect Veilers, Lanceas, even cards like Meister as well. Just any sort of monster effect hand trap is really good and synergizes pretty well with the skill in this deck list, but it could be basically anything that you play in this deck. If you want to play 3 Veiler and 3 Compulse, you can do that. If you want to play 3 copies of Veiler and 3 copies of Lancea, which is what I did for this video, as I think Lancea is so goddamn good in the current meta, you can go ahead and do that as well. But if you don't own these cards, don't worry, just put in whatever powerful cards you own, and this deck list will still feel extremely powerful. So how does this deck list work? Well, to give you an extremely brief rundown of what the archetype does, essentially all you need is a single copy of this Gnaw monster on the field. You turn this guy into your Link 1, your Link 1 searches for your Sunvine Sowing, this special summons a copy of your Twin from the deck, which revives the Loci from the graveyard, and then from there, you go on a very long elaborate combo, which you'll see during the gameplay portion, that ends on 2 Link 4s and a trap card. This Link 4 will search for your trap card and also has a nice little board nuke. Your trap card is a negate as long as you have these dudes on the field or one of these dudes on the field. And this card is a quick effect bounce of one of your opponent's cards. And on top of that, of course, you have various different hand traps and tech cards that you chose, leading to a fairly formidable end field. Now, as for the rest of the cards in the deck list, it's going to be way easier for me to show you how these cards work by just playing them during the gameplay and talking about them as I use them. So, without further ado, let's just go check out some gameplay. Oh, and one last thing before I forget, shout out to Charmite in my Discord who helped me build this deck list, as I basically took his deck list and then modified it a bit, as his deck list looked really goddamn good and performs pretty goddamn well, so I decided to take it and just modify it a bit and try it out for this video, so shout outs to him. Anyways, let's get on with the video. Alright, so fair warning before we jump to these replays, the combos you're about to see are all incredibly long and will take quite a lot of time to learn, so I highly recommend taking this deck list and playing it against some of the AI first, just to make sure you get your combos down pat before you take them onto the ranked ladder. Otherwise, you might be timing out and losing a few games to the timer more than to your opponents, so keep that in mind. These combos will take time to learn, and they may look a little bit threatening at first, but it's a very rewarding deck to learn the combos, so stick with it, it's a fun deck to play, and yeah, let's just jump into it. Alright, so first replay was against an Altergeist player, and this was a banger replay. This is like a dream replay for a YouTuber, so let's check it out. Alright, so I'll try to show you the standard setup first of what you're going to be doing most games. Because most of your games you're going to be doing a 2-card combo, one of which just summoning your normal monster to the field, and then searching for one of them via your skill. So let's check it out.
Duel.
Alright, I take my unexpected die to summon a normal monster to the field. Using that normal monster, you go into your Link 1. Link 1 searches for your spell card. Activate the spell card to summon out your Twin from the deck. Twin revives back the monster from the graveyard, and because you paid life points, you can summon out a Link 1 from your extra deck thanks to your Dryas over here. So summoning out your healer. Here's what gains some life points. These 3 cards can now become your Melias, who on summon revives a normal monster from the graveyard. Now keep in mind, you want to keep this zone available. You don't want to put it in this zone, just keep that in mind. Put the card over here. Alright, searching for my Shadow with the skill. Shadow can special summon because of the normal monster on the field. Then using these 2 cards, we can make your Dryades, or however you pronounce this card. Shadow can then copy this card to summon out one from the extra deck. These 2 become your Big Link 4, which has the animation. It's a pretty decent animation too, actually. Some cherry blossom looking stuff, I think. And a half naked tree lady as well. Anyway. Searching for your trap card with the Link 4. These 2 cards become your other Link 4, and there is your end field. You've got a bounce, you got your trap card to negate your opponent's stuff, and you've also got this card to use during your turn again to nuke your opponent's entire field, which you might see in this replay. Alright, opponent's going to set 3, then during my standby phase, he's going to activate his Multi-Faker, summoning it to the field. I'm going to use my Bloom so he doesn't summon out a card from the deck list, or if he does, he's at least forced to swap it over first, so he can't just bounce one of my cards, which would be kind of annoying. Then as soon as the priority passes back to me, I'm going to use my Link 4's effect to tribute my other Link 4 to destroy 4 cards on the field. Holy board nuke. And the reason this feels so satisfying is because your Link 4 can revive itself by banishing materials up to its Link level, so a 1 and a 3, summoning himself back. Painful decision, sending, grabbing your Loci. Alright, tributing off this card for a Dryas. Summon back a Lost Wind, don't care. Then Twin in Graveyard allows you to tribute a Link monster on the field to revive a Link monster in Graveyard that has the same name as another one in the Graveyard. So we have a Dryas in the Graveyard, and we have another copy of it in there as well. So I can summon one back to the field. Then use the 2 and the 4, which the 4 is going to be treated as a 1 here, to make my Melias. Melias can be reviving the normal monster, making a Thrasher. Thrasher gains attack equal to the big Link monster on my field, so it gets 4,000 attack, because that's 4 times the, 4 times 800 on there, plus his base attack as well. This card now allows it to attack multiple times based on the Sunavalon cards on the field. So that is 4,000 damage that I could attack twice with, plus I could swing it with my monster as well with the trap card, which would gain attack based on the monster it's pointing to, so I could have made my Link 4 have another 4,000 attack. Essentially, I had like 16,000 worth of damage there I could have swung into him with. But yeah, he was pretty goddamn dead. Alright, so I understand these replays might look a little bit overwhelming, but it's not that hard to learn. Once you know what the card effects do and stuff, you'll have a pretty good time with the deck list. It might just look a little bit overwhelming for now, so yeah, stick with it. Because it is a pretty goddamn fun deck to play once you do get the hang of it. Alright, so going second this replay, up against the Live Twin. So I'm going to Baylor his card. And he just sets 1 and passes. Alright, going to be searching for a copy of my Maiden. Now the reason I'm searching for Maiden here is Maiden is very good against targeting effects. So if your opponent has some background, you suspect it might be like a Crackdown or something, or that you know it's a deck that typically runs a lot of hand traps like Veilers, search for a Maiden, and Maiden can protect your Link monsters from targeting effects, as you'll see in this replay actually. So I'm going to use my Unexpected Dive, summon a card to the field, making my Dryas. My opponent tries to Veil this, and that's what the Maiden's for. Negates the targeting effect, and then summons itself as an extender as well. Actually a really strong ass card, it's why I'm playing 3 of it. I'm going to love having this card in my opening hand. Sowing, special summoning the Shadow to the field. My opponent's going to Veil the special summon from this, which is fine, because we haven't even normal summoned yet, so normal summoning a card. Making your healer. These two are going to become your Dryas, or Dryades. Once again copying it, summoning another copy from the extra deck. Making your Melias. Melias can be summoning out the normal monster. Making your Thrasher, which is going to gain a bunch of attack to 3200 and can attack twice because there's 2 Sunavalons. These two become another Melias, which can revive again. Yeah, once per turns are a suggestion for this deck. Summoning out your big boss monster. Once again having the sick ass animation. He's going to Ice Dragon's Prison me, which is a little bit annoying. So unfortunately this card pops itself when your Sunavalons are removed from the field. But that's fine, because now I can use my skill effect to just shuffle a monster from my graveyard into the deck to summon another normal monster to the field. Summon my Dryas. Searching for another card for later on, bit of follow-up. Making my Resurgent. And yeah, swing in, and my opponent, even if he survives this turn, summons something. I've got to negate, I've got to return to hand, he's very dead. So, the thing I want you to take away from that replay is just how good this deck is at going second. You'll notice just from the skill alone, being able to... So I look pretty screwed there, my opponent just popped my Link 4 and then got rid of my monster as well. I then could just activate my skill and just toss a normal monster straight on my field. It has a ton of extension, especially when going second, so I think this deck is probably better going second than first. Going first, your end fields are a little bit flimsy without tech cards, but going second, you can play through things really easily and get a lot of attack going. So, alright, up against Dark Fluid Link. Now honestly, I think this matchup should be just about unwinnable. If this guy has a single copy of DDR in his hand, you just lose. There's like actually no way. But, yeah. I think this guy didn't actually have it in his hand, so he could win the game. So same combo as before, just doing the exact same stuff. Summoning, these 3 then become your Link 3, Link 3 then revives from the graveyard. Making sure to put it in this zone and not the middle. Making a Dryades. Shadow then copying it. Making your Link 4, searching your trap card, then making your other Link 4, and... yeah, we've seen up this replay now. It's animation. Setting up this trap card, and then making your other Link 4. Setting and passing. Alright, I'm not sure if Lancea actually does anything versus this deck, but I think I activated it anyway. Alright, so we've got his roll back in hand. Going to use his Signet Mining first. I think I just activate Lancea. I'm not sure what this deck was. I played it myself, obviously, so I uploaded a video on it the other day, but I forget if it actually banishes or anything, so I'm just going to use Lancea, why not? Resurgent, going to return this to hand before he goes into a Link monster. He unfortunately has a Mining, which removes my Negate as well. Summons back a Quantum Dragon. He could have also summoned back Firewall when pointed to this card and removed a card that way, but then he would have had the same issue though, because he couldn't actually swing over this monster without trading into it. So painful decision, searching for my Loci. Shuffling back in, summoning the card to the field. And go for my Link 1. Use the Twin Engrave to tribute the Link 1 to bring back the Link 2. 2 and a 1. Make your Melias. Melias reviving. Making your Thrasher. Thrasher able to attack twice with a shit ton of attack. Okay, my opponent is looking pretty dunzo. I even used my Link 4 there to tribute a card to pop a card, so popped his card. Actually, if you had more cards on the field, I could pop 3 with that tribute there. Alright, Shea Obsidian with a Raidraptor. So I might fast forward this this opening a little bit. This deck does take a while to set up. I think you guys have kind of got the gist of what you need to do now, I hope. So we're going to normal summon my dude, go turn him into a Dryas. Dryas then going to be searching for your Sowing. Sowing will be special summoning back from the graveyard, paying some life points to trigger Link 1. These cards then make your Link 3, summon back, make sure to put it into this zone. Going to now search for a copy of my Shadow. Shadow special summons the normal monster on the field. Copying the Link monster, making the Link 4, searching the trap card, and these two become your Resurgent for passing the turn. It's got target protection and Lancea in hand. Opponent's going to summon monster to the field and return that to hand before he can use its effect. Not sure if that was the correct thing to do, but that's what I did. Gonna have to use Lancea in a second. He can't use this card because it was sent via the skill, but he can certainly use this one. So I'm gonna Lancea so he can't use this dude in a second. These two rank 4s become a Raiders Knight. I'm holding my negate until he summons the big boy. Summons out his Arc Rebellion, and now we're going to negate it. Unfortunately, my opponent has this card to trigger my Sunvine to have to protect the monster on the field. I could have also used... Oh no, I couldn't have done under Lancea. My opponent normally tries to destroy via card effect. This card in graveyard can protect your field from destruction as well, but I was under Lancea anyway, so I couldn't use it. Alright, tries to do the dragon and negate the field. He's got a lance to defend his monster, but for some reason he detached the dark monster, so he didn't get the negate effect from this. Otherwise he could have negated the effects of this. Wouldn't have mattered because my trap card could have boosted this thing's attack anyway, so I wouldn't have died if he swung into it, so I would just boosted this to 2500, but... So that was kind of weird that he didn't negate my field, but anyway. So I'm pretty sure this thing only negates monsters, doesn't negate my trap card, I think. Yeah, face-up monsters, so it would have been fine. Summons an Air Raid, he's going to pop a card on the field, triggering his Unbreakable Mind to pop a second card. Alright, Resurgent Reviving. Did he target this thing? I need to get a second pop. He targeted my Link 4 or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Summoning him back, these two become your Melias. Melias can be reviving once again. Making the Thrasher. Thrasher's gonna get a bunch of attack. 4000, can attack multiple times, and he is dead so. Alright, final replay. I forget what this was against. Oh yeah, Phantom Knight, alright. I think this was another going first replay, I think. Alright, this is the main reason we're playing Lancea, by the way, because Lancea just dicks this matchup. And Phantom Knight's pretty goddamn popular right now. Not sure how popular it will be once, if Agent and Rocket picks up in popularity, since they can all search for Lancea now, but... Yeah, right now, it's probably one of the best decks on the ladder. Most popular decks, anyway. Alright, Healer gaining some life points, making your Link 3 reviving your normal monster. Searching for a card that we can shuffle back into the deck. Grabbing your Shadow. Summoning the Shadow, these two cards become the Link 2, copy your Link 2, make the Link 4, search the trap card, and passing the turn. Alright. So opponent's going to start by searching for a copy of his Boots. Torn Scale summoning itself, trying to detach, then send a card from the graveyard, from deck to graveyard, or discard, sorry. We're going to Veil of that. Spiral summons and normal summons, not going to use my negate just yet, going to wait till he actually does something annoying. Going to return that card back to the extra deck. He has a Lance for it, which is... Your guess is as good as mine as to why he lanced here. But anyway. I guess he just didn't want to lance. Alright, sets and passes. So I can true my monster to nuke the entire field once again, same as the first replay. But he was able to protect one of his monsters at least. Alright, now I can just go absolutely ham. Dryas going to be turned into my Link monster. Twin, tribute it, summon my Link 2. use my skill, shuffle back, special summon a dude to the field. That makes my Elite 3. Summon back my normal monster, turn it into a copy of Thrasher. Giga boost his attack. Resurgent can then summon himself back to the field. I keep in mind though with this card, it can only use one of its effects per turn, so you can't use the bounce effect and the revive effect on the same turn, so I couldn't bounce this monster here, if you're wondering. I'd swing in, and even if he had a way to block this here, I could have swung in again. If he had another way to block it, I then could have swung in with this card as well. Actually, I couldn't because the trap card was face down. I guess I'll just activate the trap card. Could activate the trap card here, swing in with this as well, and it will gain attack based on the things it's pointing to, so it would also have 4,000 attack. And yeah, my opponent was... he was so overkill dead here, it's ridiculous. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. Hope you guys enjoyed them. Remember, I'll be doing a whole bunch of videos based on the other decks from the latest box for the rest of the week, so keep an eye out for those ones. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob? Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis. Oh.